All right, on this episode of Building the X Set, I am going to go over all the hoses, fittings, and adapters you are going to need to run your turbo oil and coolant lines for either your Mazda Miata or your Exomotive Exocet. First off, guys, if you like my videos, please subscribe and hit like down below. Every time I get a subscriber, it gives me just that much more motivation to know that you guys like my videos and you want me to keep them coming. Alright, so this video is going to get broken down into 4 different areas. The first area is going to be the turbo adapters. Second area will be the oil feed lines and fittings. Third area will be the oil return. And the fourth area will be the coolant return and supply lines. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with the turbo adapter fittings. So I have a T28 Turbo, as we Americans affectionately call basically eBay bought Chinese knockoff turbos. It is a knockoff of a Garrett T28 turbocharger. The one issue people have with the turbos, well, there's a lot of issues, but the main issue that they have is there's not a set type of fitting for each turbo. They vary in thread and pitch and so forth, so it can be a little difficult tracking down the fittings that you're going to need to use on your turbo. My advice is to do what I did. Go to Ace Hardware and get coarse and fine pitch threads of basically number 1 is M10, number 2 M12, number 3 M14 sizes. So you get about 6 bolts in total and you'll label each one individually. Then when you get home, you can feed each of them into your turbo and find out what exactly each individual port is threaded at and what size it is. This will only cost you a few bucks and it's a major help in tracking those down before you start ordering expensive aluminum AN adapters. So for my turbo, basically I have 4 fittings. I have 2 coolant fittings and 2 oil fittings. The first, the oil feed fitting, is actually an M12 by 1 1/4 pitch. Then I used an adapter that took that pitch down to a -4N size. My oil return, I used a -10AN flange kit on the bottom, and both the coolant feed ports were M14 by 1 1/2 pitch. Now I used that to a -6AN adapter. All right, onto the oil feed. For my oil feed, I used a -4N line. Basically, I have my adapter at my turbo, and then I bought about a 48-inch braided stainless steel -4N line, as I need to wrap all the way around the block and basically get back over by my oil filter is where I'm going to be tapping my oil feed line. Because I am tapping it by the oil filter, I need an oil filter sandwich plate. Basically, I just bought one off Amazon. It came with 1/8 inch NPT thread sizes, so I had to buy a 1/8 inch NPT to -4N adapter to be able to tap off of the oil filter sandwich. All right, let's move on to my oil drain. So my oil drain is at the bottom of my turbocharger. It's basically a -10AN flange kit on the turbo. And then on the oil pan, I have a previous video that I will go ahead and I will link right over here that basically shows you how I tapped my oil pan and put a 10AN fitting there for the future turbocharger application. So basically, I bought a line kit, a oil drain line kit off Amazon. I screwed up and I bought a braided nylon line instead of a stainless steel line. I didn't even think about it when it was happening. I actually thought it was just a black stainless look, and it was actually nylon, unfortunately. I didn't look close enough. So I'm gonna have to cover that with some kind of heat wrap because the heat from the exhaust housing on the turbo will definitely melt that nylon pretty quickly. And basically this came with all the hose ends, fittings, everything that I needed to make a line, and it came with about 2 feet of hose. You're gonna need about a 15 to 18 inch piece of -10AN hose to go from your oil drain to your pan. Okay, let's start talking about the coolant feed and return lines. So I use -6AN hose for all my coolant feed and return lines. Basically, I have my 2 fittings already in my turbo. Then on the actual engine side of the connection, I am tapping at the back of the head by my coolant reroute. There's a nipple coming off the head there that is a 5/16 nipple. Also down at the mixing valve is where I believe it's my return goes to. That is also a 5/16 inch nipple. And basically what I bought is I bought these, I needed 2 of them, but I bought these jegs. They're a 5/16 inch tube adapter with a ferrule, and it's like a compression fitting. That's the same exact thing I used for my my fuel lines on my fuel tank. Basically, it converts that to a -6AN line. The other thing that I needed, of course, was I needed some -6AN hose. I bought some braided stainless steel hose, about 5 feet of it, because I think one line's gonna be about 3 feet, one line's gonna be about 2 feet, a little bit shorter than that. Now for the hose, I had to buy 4 different fittings for hose ends. I bought 3 90-degree swivel ends, because I'm gonna make some pretty tight bends coming off the turbo and then coming off the back of the head there. And then I bought 1 straight normal hose end for basically going down and connecting to the mixing valve on my return line. Okay guys, so I hope that helps you out, gives you a little more information on all the parts and pieces that are needed to run your coolant and oil lines on your turbocharged Miata or Exocet. In a minute here, I'm going to flash up 4 different screens, one on each area that we talked about, that will show the product number and the piece that I bought and the part number, everything like that for you. Basically, hopefully you guys can just kind of pause the video and see all the pieces there on the screen and the parts that I ordered and the cost and where I purchased them from. Also, I will have a link down below in the description to my website where I have a parts list PDF file that you can look at that will show you a little more detailed information of everything in this video. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Once again, please hit subscribe down below if you like my stuff. And in the next video, we are actually going to install all of the lines that we discussed in this video and adapters, and I'll show you guys how they go on the car. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.